Hey, before this episode starts, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been listening up to this point and allowing me to reach my 10th episode. And if you're interested in being more supportive to the podcast, we have a Patreon, and you can find us at patreon.com/pastime and get a shout out at the beginning of every episode. Shout out to Kevin, our first and currently only patron. But if you want to support us in other ways, please tell your friends who think might enjoy the podcast and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Pastime Thinker Podcast. Thank you very much. Here is the episode. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Pastime Thinker Podcast. I'm your host, Frederick Piquet, and today my guest is Attilio.
Hello, it's me.
Attilio.
Hello.
So, I live in a small northern town, and you live in motherfucking Toronto, Ontario. How's the coronavirus treating you?
It's treating me just fine so far, he said, knocking on wood. But, I don't know. I mean, working midtown, downtown area, I'm kind of sort of always under the dark cloud of it.
Yeah.
But hey, you know.
Like, that must be scary. Like, in a city as big as Toronto, like, the amount of traffic that goes through there, like, the amount of people that you've passed and, like, interacted with during that time before, like, everything shut down, like, that would scare me.
Yeah, you know me enough to know that I'm maybe just a little bit germophobic in some walks of life.
Yeah.
But, it's been a weird sort of balancing act between, like, this whole thing now of keeping your hands clean and maybe don't cough on people or touch things. That's been the entirety of my adult life.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of a little bit dampened from it because I've been doing that.
They're telling you to live a lifestyle you've already been living. So there's not much of an adjustment.
No, but there's not much of adjustment. Like now, there's just an extra layer of maybe I'm gonna catch some spittle from this guy yelling at me for spare change.
Yeah.
Being in the outside downtown Toronto world, I don't know. I'm not super terrified of it. For myself, I'm not like.
Yeah.
Just as a functioning member of society, I don't want to be a carrier, and I don't want to like. 'Cause people in our age range, where it's entirely possible we can contract it but not feel anything.
Yeah.
But
like,
still be a carrier.
Yeah. Like, we are some of the most safest people to catch it, but that doesn't eliminate the possibility of us giving it to someone who isn't in a safe position to catch it.
No, I mean that's where my fear of this whole thing is.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like,
sorry, you first.
Oh no, it's fine. I've been doing the self-isolation for like almost a week now. I have the pleasure of being able to work from home, so it doesn't really affect my lifestyle that much, except for the fact that like I've like left the house twice in the last week for like maybe a collective 30 minutes. So like It's weird just being in the house all day.
Living the dream. I'm kind of looking forward to that because the guy working for Cineplex, we just got shut down for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And like Tuesday was my last day. I went downtown a little bit today just to hand in my keys to the office.
Yeah.
Because technically I'm unemployed right now. So as a security measure, the keys are handed in. But like, it's weird after working essentially 5 days a week for 2.5 years now. It's weird to just have this time where I can't go outside.
Yeah.
And I worry if I'm going to go stir crazy.
Jillian's definitely going stir crazy. She still has to go to work because she works in the health sector, and she still comes home and she gets stir crazy. Where
bless her.
Yeah, I am a bit of a homebody. Like, it's not a big adjustment for me to have to be home all day, like, for this stretch of time, but, like, it is weird at least not having, like, I have to go to work and then come home and spend all day at home. It's like, no, I'm just home all day. Like, I think the only thing that's, like, been getting to me is just, like, finding, like, a solid video game to play.
What amazing, fantastic time, because earlier today I bought Resident Evil 2, the remake, and I'm so excited to. I don't have a classic PlayStation. I was but a wee Microsoft lad. But yeah, it's a toss up now between what I'm going to spend more time on, if I'm going to play a video game or if I'm going to do some form of self improvement or expression or something.
I feel like it's a balancing act, right? Like you still need something to like waste time. You still need an outlet, but you still need to fill in that hole in your schedule where you were doing something productive, even if that was just going to work. Like, you still need to have like a productive chunk of time each day, just so you don't go crazy, I think.
Yeah, well, like going into this shutdown, it's like I'm gonna have 2 weeks. I can make a music project. I can start doing cardio again. I can eat better. I can do like just artistic projects. Go around the area with the camera. Then I log on to PlayStation. I see they're having a sale. I'm like, oh, Resident Evil's $26. Well, there
Yeah.
goes all that.
Yeah.
So I
Same
don't know
too.
what the hell.
I think The Witcher is like 70% off right now, and I keep
Oh,
flirting with the idea of buying
absolutely do it. The Witcher 3 will eat up at least 50 hours of your time, and it's just a quality program.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never been into anything Witcher related, and then that Netflix show came out, and now like
Mm.
I bought the soundtrack, I'm reading the books, I've already rewatched the Netflix show like twice. Like, I'm going to buy the game. I just want to like read enough of the books first, so that way I don't spoil myself, or like I can still understand what's happening in the game.
I don't think um it ruins a whole lot to play. I'm assuming you're talking about the third game.
Yes.
Yeah, I I've never read the books, but like
From
a lot of the background of the stuff they talk about, you just kind of I didn't know it, so just like, oh,
yeah.
okay, so that's that context, I guess.
From what I
Um,
understand, and I hope like no one who's like a diehard fan like chews me out for this, but from what I understand, the Netflix show is kind of like a mixture of the first two books without going through the entirety of either of those books, and then the video games take place after the books entirely, and there's like 10 books.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to like play the video game and then like get all these context clues of things that happen in the later books.
Fair.
But at the same
You
time,
can
I don't want
also,
to read all those books before playing a video game.
I mean, that's a lot of homework to do for something that's already going to take up 50 hours of your time.
Right?
Well, I mean, go for it. Throw yourself into it. You got 2 weeks.
True. True. I've been playing like my classic Japanese role playing games. Or just Japanesey games in general. Been playing my Kingdom Hearts, my Final Fantasy, Danganronpa. Uh,
I love Danganronpa so much.
oh, you are you familiar with Danganronpa?
Yeah,
Oh my! How have we never talked about this?
because usually I shy away from the weeb shit.
Danganronpa's so good.
It was described to me once by a friend of mine as anime the game, and that's all he gave me for info. Um,
Anime the game.
yeah, because it's not inaccurate.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of boys in high school, well, and boys and gals, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
They're
yeah, so I
all
played it, and I thought it was the dopest fucking
yeah.
thing.
For people who are unfamiliar with Danganronpa, because I don't blame you if you are, it is a I forget the actual term for it. It's a interactive novel, I think is what they're called.
Yeah,
Yeah, an interactive novel where basically it's a bunch of these high school students who are all like the best at what they do. So like there's like a student, he's the best photographer, or I think it's actually a female who's the best photographer. But anyways,
yeah,
like pick a subject. Each of the students are like the best at that subject, and they're all trapped in this school, and they have to play a killing game,
yeah.
and it's really fun. And there's a couple of good twists, but there's a couple of twists that I called pretty ahead of time. But
Okay.
but there was still a couple that like I did not see coming.
My my main sort of standout memory of this series of games is like, how the hell do they think of these ways that
Yeah.
these kids get killed? Some of it's just absurd, like next level lateral thinking bullshit that I think is hilarious.
Have you ever been killed by a bowling ball in a library?
Oh, shot put ball.
The shot put ball, yeah.
Please,
Sorry.
please don't twist the Lord of meet your needs, okay? They've already said it. We must abide.
It was a shot put ball, that's true. Oh,
On the just because you mentioned Japanese RPG games, did you ever play Octopath Traveler?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's a Switch game that it's like an open world RPG.
Okay.
There are 8 characters you can play as, and you build your. It's just a look into it if you can. If you
Okay.
have a Switch, I don't know if you have a Switch. It's a good time.
I do not have a Switch. I've been a ride or die PlayStation person my entire fucking life.
Oh, well, this is a good time for it. I was Microsoft for the first while, and then I had the choice between the Xbox One or the PS4, and I went for PS4.
Yeah, that's what you do. I don't know. I had a PS. No, I started with a PS1. I think I had a PS1 back when they were just to say becoming obsolete, but I was playing
Okay.
Spyro, I was playing Crash Bandicoot, and then the PS2 came out and I was playing Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Kingdom Hearts. And then, you know what? My PS3 days was just the fucking Call of Duty days, so like I don't think that really counts. Call of
Mm,
Duty and God of War was all I played on the PS3 essentially
that
until
counts.
yeah, until the Kingdom Hearts remastered came out and the Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 10 remastered came out.
I'm I'm super looking forward to the remake of Seven.
I've played the demo.
But mhm.
I'm excited for it more now that I've played the demo.
Fair, yeah, because it looks to me like they're kind of leveling up what they did with 15 as far as like how the game itself plays,
Yeah. Well, the
which is
demo's
exciting.
pretty linear.
But yeah, yeah, so I'm thinking like specifically combat style. So I
Okay.
assume the story is going to be broadly the same as it was.
From my
Uh,
knowledge, the demo was like beat for beat, line for line, the intro of the original game.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool because like I already knew all the lines, I already knew where I was going. Well, essentially, I knew like roughly where I was gonna go and stuff like that. I think they just repositioned one of the bosses, and I think that's all they changed. In terms of my memory, it's been a very long time since I've played it,
Hmm.
but yeah,
I mean, I'm not a Final Fantasy like fan. I've only played 15 and Tactics on the Game Boy Advance. Like it was never a huge thing for me.
oh no,
Um, so like I was a Microsoft kid. What can I say? I was big on Halo and Alter Echo,
yeah,
Skate, the Skate series. That was pretty
Skate
much it,
series,
really.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I remember playing that a lot on the PS2.
That too.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like start the way most people. Well, actually, I think I did. I started playing Final Fantasy with Final Fantasy X, which is like, besides 7, one of the most recognizable.
Hmm.
But then, like, I've gone back and I've played 4, 5, I've played 7, 8, 9, I've played 15, I've played Dissidia, I've played Tactics, I've played a vast majority of their games. And
There's
I always end up going to Final Fantasy X. I got a Final Fantasy X tattoo. I don't know if it's a nostalgic thing or if it's just genuinely my favorite game for whatever reason, but it's just I play it every year. I replay Final Fantasy X once a year.
I have that for The Last of Us
Yep.
because I consider that to be a masterclass as far as like the medium is concerned.
Yeah.
And sort of starting to feel pretty relevant considering the way the world's going right now.
Oh no.
I don't know, just be safe, don't breathe too hard.
Yeah.
Try not to die.
I mean, I know The Last of Us has like a special place in your heart. I've played it, but I've only played it once, and I felt like that's all I needed. Like I tried do it. There's a new game plus, right? I think I tried doing new game plus, and I did not finish that playthrough.
There's New Game Plus, and there's also with the remaster that came with the PS4, they introduced the grounded quote unquote difficulty mode, where they take away like 90% of the stuff you can pick up and like the ability that the character has to sort of hear things out and see where enemies are.
Yeah, because he has like kind
So
of like
it
some
becomes
sonar ability, right?
yeah, things like hunter vision or whatever they called
Yeah.
it. Some, but in that sort of form of the game, it becomes a lot of trial and error and like how sneaky can you be?
Yeah.
And that was the entirety of my summer of 2017. It was beautiful, just all of it.
Just how long did it take you to beat the game, Attilio? All summer.
Well, that time it did, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I was working for Seneca. Stakes were low. I had 2 days of work a week. I could do that.
Yeah.
I was
That.
not yet a fully formed adult.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to like have games that don't like hand feed you things. It's good to have like a like not excruciatingly difficult games, but like trial and error games.
Hmm.
Like something that makes you kind of work for it, doesn't spoon feed you. I like
That's
that.
kind of what I'm looking forward to with this Resident Evil I just bought too, because that's like old school. Not necessarily a puzzle game, I guess, but like a lot of you have to figure out the answers before you can go back and like
Yeah.
enact them. So that should be a good time. That's a good way to kill at least one of these 2 weeks.
I mean, Resident Evil is pretty popular for their puzzles. Like, I think it might be a little too extreme to say, but like I would consider Resident Evil like a horror puzzle game almost. Like there's a lot of like find the parts, figure out where they go, make the puzzle, solve the puzzle, do the like do like solve the riddle kind of shit. Like there is a lot of that stuff, and then there's kind of just like zombies in the way.
Open the door, kill the zombie, do a shot, say a prayer, have a good day. That kind of yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good time.
yeah. And
I don't know.
just to be clear, you don't know anything about Resident Evil 2 going into it?
I'm aware of the character of Mr. X.
Ah, that's where I was going
That's
to go
kind
with
of it. But like I've seen artwork. It's the same way for 3. I'm aware of the character of Nemesis, but I don't know what capacity it exists in the game.
Nemesis is from 3.
Yeah, that's right. I may have whatever.
Oh, sorry.
I thought I said that.
I
You don't
maybe
listen.
did.
That's
Yeah.
why we're not dating anymore.
No, the reason why we're not dating is because it's because you were rude to my mother.
Well, she had it coming, didn't she?
Yeah, she kind of did.
I'm sorry for that. I don't mean it.
But yeah, I just recently watched a cool like in-game deep dive. I don't. Do you watch fuck, I forget what it's called.
I don't watch that.
Wall break or something like that, where they like go like god mode inside of games to like look at stuff that
Oh.
you wouldn't see. Boundary break.
No.
Sorry, boundary break is what it's called. But they did a
I've not seen that, but
Oh,
that sounds super exciting.
oh, it's really cool. They do a lot of games. They more recently did Resident Evil 2 Boundary Break, where you can like see through the walls and like explore the video game and stuff like that. And they found out that a scary / cool thing with Mr. X is, again, not to spoil too much, but like after Mr. X is introduced, he basically follows you for the entire game, right? He's like something
Okay.
you always have to be thinking about and something you always have to be weary about. And in some situations, you can like hear his footsteps and stuff like that. And there's a couple of safe rooms in the game that Mr. X will not enter and stuff like that. So if you're in this room, you are safe from Mr. X, but you know you got to keep going because you want to finish the game, right?
Yeah.
So in Boundary Break, they took a look at like what Mr. X is doing, because when you're in one of the safe rooms, you can actually hear his footsteps. And
Nice.
it's not just an audio thing. Like if you go on Boundary Break, the actual Mr. X character model is actually patrolling the map looking for you.
Dope.
Yeah. Like that's just a really cool like one step beyond kind of thing that I really appreciated.
It's see stuff like that is why there's I guess less so now, but there used to be like a whole anti-gaming thing, but like, well, it's just like this dumb whatever thing, people refusing to. It still kind of feels weird to call video games like a creative art form in the same way that drawing or music or film is.
Oh, it
But like,
absolutely is.
there's a lot of hard work and thought process that goes into this. So like, I feel like it qualifies.
Yeah, video games
Um,
are like interactive books to me.
Yeah. Or I was with my best friend once. He was talking about just on the idea of like the VR headsets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What he said was we should find a way to make like movies this way, but also make it interactive. Like yeah, that's what gaming is. It's exactly what it is.
that's
It's an interactive movie.
yeah.
Like, oh,
Well, I mean, like, yeah, well, I see what he's trying to get at. Like, try to get like, because they're kind of coming out with that. There's a couple of Netflix movies that's kind of like choose your own adventure.
oh,
Well, have you seen Bandersnatch? I think it's called.
I have not.
It's yeah, there's a show on Netflix called Bandersnatch where like literally it's pick your own adventure. Like the movie plays out, and then like as things pop up, like actual options pop up on your screen, and you pick like which way to go, what to say, how your character
Dope.
responds.
I love it. Can you go full renegade and just like start destroying people?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there is like a violent path
Nice.
you can take.
Love that.
Yeah, and like it's really weird because it's like it's super interactive in that way because like the point of the show is about being stuck in loops and stuff like that. So like once you start watching it and start making your decisions, you can never go back. Like even like if I were to like just play it again on my Netflix account, it would just take me back to where I left off last time I watched it. And like the loop just keeps
Oh,
getting worse.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I'll have to try this.
Yeah. For sure. I
Okay,
think it's a Black Mirror movie.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah. But it's really cool. I didn't know that when I was going into it, and then I got like I think I played it. I think I played it, watched it, whatever, for like a good hour and a half, 2 hours.
No. Is it that long? Like it just keeps going, or
It
is it?
just keeps going.
Jeez.
It
Okay.
just keeps going. And
Man, I'm
like,
never gonna get this music project done.
there's too many things to do while you're in self isolation,
Yeah, which is just a really bizarre problem to have. I love it.
right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We're living in weird times. It's hard to know what the the correct thing to do with all this free time is now.
That's what I mean. Like, I got a couple people in my life. You know, I got a few that's like, oh, you know what? Like, we just do the self isolation. We wait this out. Everything's gonna be fucking fine by next month. And
Yeah,
then,
go to Winchester, have a pint,
yeah,
wait for it all to blow over.
exactly. And then I have other people in my life that are like, oh no, we gotta be ready for the next 3 months at least. I'm like, I really don't know. Like, I hope it's at least maybe somewhere in the middle of that. Like, I hope it doesn't go on for like more than a month, but that's something only time can tell.
Well, for us, well, it's already been going on for more than a month abroad. Just for us,
Yeah.
here. This thing, this is a weird. So like, it seemed like not an issue whatsoever. Whatsoever. Why did I say it like that?
Whatsoever.
Whiskey. Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't a problem at all until like a week ago when I forget his name, Buddy in the NBA got it,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden things got incredibly real.
Yeah, like I
Which I
was.
guess is just a matter of focus for us, because like it was definitely a large problem on the
Yeah.
other side of the planet. So I don't know. I
Like
don't know, man.
I was talking to my father on my phone on the phone on my phone.
Mhm.
I was talking to him on my phone. Um, uh,
Yes.
but like he did say something that kind of worried me a little bit more. That like the amount of things that we're putting in place and the seriousness that we're taking in terms of COVID-19 is
Hmm.
nothing close to what we did for SARS, what we did for H1N1, what we did for the avian flu, the swine flu. So he's like,
Well, yeah,
so I don't know because like as far as we know this is less deadly than those things, but why are we taking more precautions against it?
I think because this is exponentially more like viral, easy to contract than any of that stuff was. So
Yeah.
remember, I was just like a little tiny little child when SARS happened. I think like 4 people in Toronto died, and we got a Rolling Stones concert. And
Yeah,
for this, where
for SARS awareness.
yeah, yeah, they rocked in the cause of SARS. It was whatever. I was young. I think it was 2004.
Yeah.
I think, but like this now is, it's been touted as like by people who don't really care as like an overhyped flu.
Yeah.
Um, People forgetting that it's. I think the number was like it's 10 times as likely to kill someone as a flu, and also it's so much easier to catch.
Yeah.
And it lasts longer on surfaces. I don't think it's airborne, but definitely you can be on the bus or the subway and brush up against someone or grab one of the handrails, and you go to scratch the side of your face or something, and picture show, you're done, you've got it.
Yeah.
Like I think that's why it's such a serious like grab every bit of toilet paper you can and run for the hills
Jesus
kind
Christ.
of situation.
That whole fucking toilet paper thing, man. You do not need 3 years worth of toilet paper for a 14-day like isolation. Like
That's
I saw this breakdown where this guy like did the actual math of like how much you would need to shit. And no, like
oh no.
so like if you got like one case of specifically Costco toilet paper, the big fucking thing of Costco toilet paper, you would have to, assuming that you wipe using exactly 20 pieces, like 20 sheets or 20 squares, for a family of 4, they would all have to like shit like 185 times each a day to use all of that toilet paper in 2 weeks.
I think I could manage that. Honestly, this I've been eating cleaner. I've been trying to make positive choices for the sake of my waistline. I think I could hit that number.
Like that's just wild. Especially since like having the shits is not a fucking symptom of having the virus.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Plus, if you got socks, you got toilet paper.
Oh my god. If you got a shower, you got toilet paper.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. It's all a matter of perspective, my dear boy.
It is. Oh. Yeah, it's just wild. Like, that's just, like, panic buying and, like, panic mentality.
I mean, there's this fucking video I saw on the Reddit a couple days ago of, like, this entire city block sidewalk, a lineup of people trying to get into a Costco, I think. Not a Costco. Walmart?
Superstore? I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, one of those kinds of stores anyway. People like with carts and whatever in line. It's like that's an aggressive overreaction, I feel. And a little bit scary for like not just the situation we're in, but like if it gets worse, how are we gonna cope?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not scared. Ha ha ha. I'm very scared.
Exactly. And like again, it's been taking me like a lot of willpower to like not follow that mentality, because like just in terms of like I'm not panic buying, but like I don't want there to be none of that stuff when I need it, so I should probably go get it now because everyone else is panic buying.
It seems like stores generally are clamping down on what people can acquire, so that'll help thin it back out, and it'll take some time, but hey, we'll get there. Plus, if you got a water bottle, you can just poke a hole in the top and you got a bidet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, are you a fucking engineer?
No, I went to elementary school where we did some dumb shit, including poking holes on water bottles to spray people in class.
To have a bidet in elementary school?
No, just to get your classmates moist in the shirt.
Don't say that word.
And annoy them. Shirt? Okay.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not afraid of it. I'm just afraid of spreading it, and like that's just kind of where I sit on it. And like I'm gonna listen to everything Trudeau tells us. I'm gonna listen to everything Ford tells us. I'm just gonna be a good little fucking sheep citizen and just wait for this to blow over. Like that's genuinely my plan. I'm just gonna do what my government tells me and just ride it. There's nothing else I can do. Like what? I'm just gonna disagree with them and then throw a party of 50 people or more.
That's exactly it. The best thing we can do is not spread it to people.
Yeah.
That's very much the real situation. That's the best thing we can do. Because China got shut down for a couple of weeks and they squashed it.
Yeah.
So we can do that. It? I think like it's opening back up. It's really helped them out. I'm about to start talking out of my ass, so maybe I'll just backtrack before I get there. My understanding is that it got like infinitely better for them after doing this like intense shutdown.
Because I know Italy is in a really bad place right now.
Yeah. They didn't get ahead of it. Like, the rest of the world saw the evidence and saw that it was coming, and none of us got ahead of it. So, like, maybe we're next. Hopefully not. Well, America will be next, and then we can follow.
Well, again, not to, like, criticize Justin Trudeau, but, again, from my understanding, it looks like at least this week, the way he's talking and like what I've heard, like it looks like Trudeau's just leaving it up to the provinces to make decisions, and like he's not really he himself isn't really making much decisions for Canada besides closing the border and whatnot. But like from what I've seen, like each province is doing something completely different than the other.
Well, I don't know, man. All I know is very selfishly I got a trip to Ottawa next month, and I'd like to still be able to go. But you know what? If you yeah, well, it's 2 weeks and a few days spare. But like even then, if VRL gets shut down, or if I get sick, or if I know someone on the other side of the trip is like, or if it's risky, so be it. The world will continue rolling on as long as we aren't stupid. Yeah. So hey, bring it. Yeah. I don't know. That comes off. It feels very uneducated of a thing for me to say, but hey, that's who I am.
I mean, It's hard to be educated in this because all we really know is like what's come out so far, right? Like it's I don't expect you to be like, what do you mean you don't know the nature of this virus, Attilio? Like shouldn't you know everything about this virus?
You should, yeah. You're gonna get the shits. You're gonna do the splits.
and,
You're
and
gonna throw some fits.
and you're gonna get very, very hungry for toilet paper.
Yeah,
You'll get
it's the what I did earlier today. I just checked out the numbers, and as of 5:30 this afternoon in Ontario, there was like 250 confirmed cases
oh my.
of the virus,
In just
which in all of
Ontario?
Ontario. Yeah,
Wait, then the number's
which
going down.
yeah, because I feel like I saw 259 at some point.
Well, I know. I think it was this last. Again, I'm going to talk out of my ass now because I'm like pretty
Do it.
sure, but I'm not certain. But on Monday, I heard that on Sunday there was like 300 something cases.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I mean,
it's starting to look like less people are getting infected a day. If you and I are both correct,
I'm very rarely correct.
Yes.
It should be said.
as am I.
I kind of just say stuff, and then every once in a while, it turns out to be true, and I'm like, hey, told you.
I'm a prophet 1 out of 10 times.
Yeah. I mean, there's a better chance of winning the lottery, so hey, go for it.
Yeah.
Just say stuff.
Just say things.
Yeah.
I did see. I think it was a comedian. I think it was might have been Josh Wolf. It was a comedian, one of those comedians, but he was saying that like one thing that scared him is watching like just how quickly Trump went from dismissive about it to super serious about it. And they're like, "Oh no, like if Trump is taking something serious, like maybe we're in some bad times."
What? But he takes no responsibility. Didn't you hear? He did nothing wrong. I seen on Facebook. There's this like timeline of statements he made from in the span of a month, from it being like, oh, it's just a problem in China. We only had one person come in from China. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
To guys, we need to shut this down. And like I think it was 2 weeks actually. It was the end of February to like March 5th or something.
Guys,
Like
we need to
it
shut
wasn't
this
even a
down.
month. Guys, we need to make America scarce again.
Yeah. All right, so
I don't know, man.
we've just hit the 30-minute mark, so we're going to take a quick ad break.
Oh.
And we'll be right back. All right. This episode is sponsored by Brotherhood MFG. Brotherhood MFG is a clothing brand centered around car culture with a fresh style. Brotherhood MFG has even given us a special discount code to give to you guys. So if you go to teespring.com/stores/brotherhoodmfg and use discount code PASTIME in all caps, you guys will get a 13% discount off the entire store. Thank you for listening. And we're back. Okay, so let's just change the subject a little bit because I know this is something I can never get tired of talking about. I think I've talked about it on this will be like the 6th episode out of the 10 I have that I talk about this. But Attilio, you got tattoos. You're into tattoos. Tell us about your tattoos.
I do. I have 9 tattoos now because it's way easier than developing any form of personality for myself. Of course, they're all on my arms, so people see them and ask me about them. But today's actually today's the 19th. Yeah, it's sorry, dating everything. Anyways, as we record this is the 4-year anniversary of this one tattoo I've got from the Dark Tower book series, which is in that. Are you familiar with it at all?
I've watched the movie. That's it.
Oh, you dear sweet child. Well, it's relevant enough. So in Stephen King's universe, he has Ka, which is Ka, which is like his equivalent of fate or destiny or something. And just the idea of you can only control so much, and everything else is going to happen as it happens.
Yeah.
So you may as well let it happen and let it roll, and just keep going. Which was very timely because I got that during a particularly shitty chunk of my life. But that's it's the anniversary of that. But that's only one of 9 tattoos. Some of them are
lighthearted,
a bit less significant. Yeah, like the first one I got a treble clef that I got when I was 19 that I really wish I hadn't gotten.
I don't regret any of my tattoos yet, but I only have 3, and I made sure that all 3 of them have significant meanings to me, but I am slowly moving into the territory of getting tattoos because they cool. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you got time and money to burn, you may as well.
yeah. Like, I have 2 more tattoos coming up. One of them is a matching tattoo with one of my brothers, so that one I'm probably not going to regret, but I am getting another tattoo that's, like, just because it's cool.
Is it another Kingdom Hearts thing?
No, but it is an anime-related thing.
Tell me.
Uh, I'm getting a Akutsuki cloud from Naruto. So, like, there's this, like, organization of, like, quote unquote evil people, and they wear these cloaks, and the cloaks have like these really really cool cloud designs on them, and I'm getting one of those clouds tattooed on my leg.
Okay. Oh, the I don't care. I'm googling it now. I've seen this. Um, sorry. I'm not big on the weeb culture, but like I shouldn't stop saying it like that. I'm realizing now as I say that. I'm not much into anime aside from Danganronpa, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's very much the thing with tattoos. It's all relative to you and not to
Yeah.
what pasty white boys like me get out of it when they see it.
I mean, I'm in favor of like getting whatever the fuck you want tattooed on you for like whatever kind of motivation, bordering on like it being just like offensive for the sake of being offensive.
Oh, well, that's how I live my life.
No, like just I'm just talking about like swastikas or like getting a tattoo to like represent your hatred for something.
Oh,
I
fair
think
enough.
I think that's the one thing that I would draw the line. I think that's the one thing that would stop me from appreciating a tattoo.
As if it was like racially motivated.
Racially biased motivated, homophobically motivated, just like something to like convey like, hey, I hate this thing because I'm a bigot.
Okay. Did you ever did you ever watch the movie The Long Shot? A Seth Rogen film?
Yes, yes.
And he gets like half a swastika tattoo and he just turns it into a stick man.
Do you know what the funniest thing is too? I used to do that. Like,
Oh no.
no, like I used to like grab like a pen and then like, do you know when you can like sneak up on someone and they let you draw something on them? So like
Yeah.
I would fake out that I was drawing a swastika on them, and then I would turn it into a stick man, and I thought I was fucking original and hilarious for doing it. And then eventually after that movie came out, I did it to someone. They're like, "Oh, someone's watched The Long Shot." And at that point, I didn't even watch the movie yet. I'm like, "What? No." And then they thought I was just like playing it down and like trying to like be cool. I'm like, "No, this is something I've done for a while now."
The classic thing the cool kids do: draw swastika stick man on your arm.
Yeah.
Christ almighty. Man, I mean, nobody's ever had no. Well, I mean, there aren't any original ideas anymore. It's just remixes of the same old stuff.
Exactly.
Again, Avatar was just Pocahontas but blue. It's fine.
Just Pocahontas but blue.
Yeah, aren't there supposed to be like 5 sequels to Avatar or something coming? Do you know what that's about?
Yeah, over like a 150-year plan, I think.
Ooh, we're not going to be around for that long.
Yeah. But the fan base will be. Somehow.
That's unfortunate. Them and the Rick and Morty fanboys. That's all we're going to have at the end of the world.
I like Rick and Morty.
I like the show. I dislike the fan base.
Yeah, I think that's the common consensus for a lot of people. I really enjoy the shows. I really like talking about the show with like 2 of my friends, and I really don't go beyond that. Like,
Well, I think
go on.
so. Did you watch Community?
Yes.
Okay, so Community. It's the same thing with Rick and Morty, for me as it is with Community, which they're both Dan Harmon shows. So I guess it's in his style of like, because in both shows he has like this sort of fourth wall breaking thing that lets the audience in on the gag,
Yeah.
which is great. I love that. But then the fan base will take that and then make that not only an empowering thing, but like a look how much smarter I am than you because I get this joke thing
Yeah.
that the director, the creator, very clearly laid out. I don't know. I think that's why the show Rick and Morty irks me so much.
That's what I mean.
Because
Like,
I can't.
it is kind of entitled to like be like, oh, I get the joke, therefore I'm better than you. But it's like they wouldn't have put the joke in there if they weren't gonna think anybody was gonna get it.
Like, yo,
Like,
there's this fucking doctor, and he turns himself like into a pickle at one point. You know, and, like, yeah, I watch, I get it.
yeah,
I think it's hard for me to not associate the fan bases of things with the thing itself, and that's
yeah.
where I struggle with Rick and Morty. And now, which sucks, I loved Community when I was in college. I loved it so much, and then I met other people who loved it, and I hated it.
I've never met anyone from like the Community fan base, or I've never seen anyone be toxic from the Community fan base, except for like
It's
just
a lot of
people.
it was on Reddit,
Yeah,
for me.
like with
Um,
me, it's just like I'll pick up on someone quoting the show, and I'll go and they'll go and then like that's the moment. That's the whole interaction.
Then you get their number and fucking bing bang boom. Now you're married to them,
Like
but you can't hold hands before marriage. I cannot stress that enough.
no, we hold ankles.
Gross. That's
Yeah,
worse.
yeah, we do like the three-legged walk everywhere we go.
Yo, you get to third base before marriage? Are you nuts?
I'm crazy.
If there's one thing I learned from 18 years of Catholic education is you do not make physical contact with someone until you already share half of your assets.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Otherwise, you got to sacrifice your firstborn. I never read the Bible. It's very
You
old, and I was very young. It doesn't work.
you call it being religious. I call it being reasonable.
It just makes sense, you know.
It just
I
if you get it, you get it.
Yeah. If you don't, you burn. It's fine.
Yeah.
It should be noted that I'm very much a sinner in the classical sense for various clothing options and tattoos and smoking habits.
Oh yeah.
I probably,
Oh,
I don't
like
know, man.
I have I have three tattoos. They're
Yes.
non-offensive in any way. They all have like significant meaning to me, but specifically because they are tattoos, my grandmother doesn't like them.
Well, anyways, yeah, you're a low down punk now because you got tattoos.
Yeah.
Did you hear? You're never gonna get employment.
And like she's like all like she's relieved that I don't have any hand or face tattoos because she doesn't want any wedding photos of me where you can see my tattoos.
Oh,
So she's like, "Oh, good thing you'll be wearing a suit and you'll be covering your arms and like we won't be able to see your tattoos at least then. Like at least we won't see your tattoos in your wedding photos. Like that's still nice. Just don't get any hand tattoos, please."
you should you should swap like a picture of you in your house with one where you've shopped on some like face tattoos, just to see, just to see what happens.
Just uh
And I get that though. Like, there's still very much a stigma about. I have never worked with anyone with a face tattoo. Hand tattoos, absolutely. There's some people I worked with who are like starting from the knuckles all the way up to their shoulder. They've had entire sleeves, which is dope as hell.
would that be the best place to start for a sleeve? Would be your knuckles?
Uh,
I guess it'd be the
it
cheapest place to start.
it certainly to me seems like it would be the most painful. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, having said that, really the worst place for me was not. It was on the back of a forearm, which apparently is supposed to be not as bad as like the wrist area, but the wrist area has been fine for me. So I guess it's all subjective.
Like I have a tattoo
Or I
on the
got
back of my
weirdly
forearm.
placed. Have I seen it?
I believe so. You should have seen it in October.
What was it?
It's
Or what is it, I should say?
it's the fucking you wouldn't get it. It's from an anime. It's the curse mark from Berserk.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, October was a long time ago, man. Things have changed.
So much has changed.
I don't even have the same face anymore. You wouldn't recognize me on the street.
You don't think
I'm
so?
No, I'm a human mirror. We all see what we want to see. Plus, I got bored in this quarantine and I shaved my head, so like that's gone.
Oh my god.
It's not true, but I really want to do it because I'm gonna have to do it at some point.
Yeah. I mean,
Plus, if I do it now, I can like slap my head and get fun sound effects.
we need a very particular sound. Attilio, shave your head.
Yeah, here you're just doing like, oh, it sounds like someone took two wet steaks and slapped them together. What is this?
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to get into sound design when I was younger. So what?
What a particular sound.
Yeah. I've I think I got the two wet steaks thing. I think I stole that from Newgrounds. I'm pretty sure.
2 wet steaks.
Which, by the way, remember Newgrounds?
I
That
do.
stuff's still going.
Are they?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they've taken anything down.
Do they still have the same support that they had before? The same fan base? Like I haven't watched them in a while.
I doubt it. YouTube came along and just stole all of that, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's still there, man. You can still go back and watch all the stick fighting things and
Oh
like
my god.
probably the same Star Wars Episode 2 spoofs where he doesn't like sand. It's so sandy, but she's not sandy, and that's why he loves her. Just good stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
The golden age of the internet.
The golden age of the ASDF movies. Did you
Yeah,
ever-
well, that was. I feel like that was just after.
You think so? Well, that would have
'Cause
been in my time.
that was.
There was
Yeah, I guess. Where there's a bit
ASDF
of a-
movies. Hey, it's fucking Fred. Fuck Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Fred.
You're him, aren't you? Aren't
No.
you YouTube famous Fred?
I'm not. And that is how
I've heard a rumor.
that's how I fucking discovered YouTube. Is because just little old me, just another day in grade 2, I go to school and suddenly people are screaming, "Hey, it's Fred! I lost my meds! Like, look at the squirrel!" or some shit like that. And I'm just like, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, it's this thing on YouTube." And I'm like, "What the fuck is a YouTube?" And like, no, straight
What
up.
the fuck is the internet?
No, honestly, I had no clue what YouTube was.
Yeah.
And then I actually had someone like write instructions down on how to find YouTube and what to type into YouTube for when I got home. So like then I got home, I had this piece of paper, I put in like YouTube, then I put in like Fred in the search bar in YouTube, and then it was like click on it'll be this guy with a blue shirt. I'm like, "Oh, that's a guy with a blue shirt." And then suddenly like fuck, my mind was opened and I was just like, "Hey, it's Fred." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And that was my discovery and introduction to YouTube.
That explains so much about you as a person. I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah.
Does that make me a boomer that I was raised on Newgrounds and Funny Junk instead of YouTube?
I
Because
don't
like, there's some classic stuff, and like for me, the golden age is like if you're familiar with like the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, that
Yes,
was a
yes.
Newgrounds video,
Yeah, I've seen that.
and any of the Eagle Raptor stuff that I didn't realize was him from Game Grumps until years later. It just that's another thing. Like this whole like these videos that are just dumb drawings, expressions of like whatever people think is funny. It feels like a weird time capsule that to me is interesting how it's
It
going to
is.
change.
Well, you
Because
can
like
definitely
TikTok is the thing now, right?
exactly like you can definitely see each like a clear shift in each generation depending on like what fucking memes were back then.
Yeah. Remember what was Good Advice Duck or something like that?
Yep.
Just when the memes were just animal faces on color backgrounds.
Yeah.
And then Scumbag Steve happened, and that's when shit hit the fan.
Scumbag Steve.
Things just got worse and
It was
worse.
Scumbag Steve, Awkward Penguin, Honest.
Good Guy
was it
Brian?
Good
Something
Guy-
like that?
I think it was Good Guy Brian, Success Kid or something like that. Or
Oh my god, Success Kid, what's he up to now? Holy shit.
do you remember Boxy?
I do remember Boxy.
Hey, it's Boxy.
Oh, mama.
Yeah. Annoying Orange.
I used to have such a crush on her when I was a tiny child, too.
Oh, yeah. Then there was like Annoying Orange, Red versus Blue.
Oh, Red versus. And that was Machinima, right? Like RB and the Chief,
Yeah.
that era of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
RB the Chief.
And then
Man.
And I think what made like as weird as this sounds, I think that what made us leave that type of YouTube video was probably PewDiePie. And like that's when like video game let's plays got like super super popular.
My first memory of Let's Plays as a thing was there was a group called 4 Player Podcast that they did Let's Plays basically like through various places. They I guess Skyped into the session.
Okay.
And like hours and hours and hours I spent watching them in their dumb Grand Theft Auto 4 stuff. And like it's bizarre to think that can be a business now.
Yeah. No,
Like
with- For me, it
Sorry,
was it was definitely PewDiePie for me that like shifted what I watched on YouTube. And then like it's not like I just watched PewDiePie. It's just like I discovered PewDiePie, watched a bunch of PewDiePie, and then I started watching a lot of other Let's Play gamers. And then
For me, Let's Play, it was really only ever Game Grumps
yeah.
for a while, and then in the last couple of months, I forget which video, but Jacksepticeye video came across my dash. Oh, it was from the game was Man of Medan. If
Okay.
you're familiar with that,
I
it's the
recognize
same
the
guys who did
title.
Until Dawn.
Yeah.
It's like I guess in some ways it's the sequel to Until Dawn style wise. So like
Okay.
I was like, ooh, what's that game? And so that's how I found out about the game and subsequently the guy. And like this is a business people can have.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I love it.
And then I remember watching a lot of Ray William Johnson equals 3.
Oh, that boy. Whatever happened to him, huh?
He recently just got back on to YouTube. Before
Oh.
he's been recently doing stand-up comedy, and he's been producing a lot more, but he himself just recently started making his own content again on YouTube, I think. And
I'll have to check it out.
yeah. Well, he's more of like top 10 ways to better yourself, top 5 ways to live a happier life, like
Oh.
top yeah. That's kind of
My
what he changed it to now.
I could be misremembering because like I only ever watched him for a little bit. I think when I was in high school. So like, was his style of video what ended up being similar to like Tosh.0's show? Was it that kind of thing?
Yeah,
Or, like
but I forget
just
who came
commenting on
first though.
clips?
Yeah, I forget who
It
came
would have been
first.
Ray William Johnson came first for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, it was
Yeah, 'cause
definitely
Tosh-
like a more age appropriate version of Tosh.0.
Hmm.
But it was still funny. Like there's some fucking. I had some good times watching Ray William Johnson.
That. Oof, how old is YouTube? Hold on, let me look at this up. Look at this up. He says with a Italian accent.
Let me look.
YouTube age. Oh, that's not a good thing to search. If my 15 years.
It's only been around
Good
for
Lord.
15 years.
It feels like less to me, but Jesus Christ
It
Almighty,
feels like
that's a
more
long
to
time.
me. It feels like it's. I feel like it should be older than that. Came out in 2005.
February 14th, 2005, according to the Google box on my phone.
Wow.
Good Lord. It's shaped so much like youth culture. It's absurd.
I would
It's
have
not,
been.
well, I guess
I would have been 8.
at that specific date, I was 12.
Wow.
So I guess that's why it seems longer to you because it's been longer in your life. I don't know.
It's
weird.
it's been around for a bigger proportion of my life than it has yours.
Hmm.
It just
I
makes me
already
feel-
had opinions.
It just makes me like if they've been like it's been 15 years, right? And like YouTube is like essentially just as big as Google at this point, right?
Oh, YouTube is owned by Google, isn't it?
Well, actually, yes, it is. It is. But I just meant in terms of like a platform. Like
Okay.
you hit internet, you're either going to Google to go to YouTube or you already have the YouTube app. You know what I mean? Like to look shit up.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me wonder like if there's going to be a next thing and how and when that's going to happen.
I mean, I feel like Vine was close to being that sort of like next platform. Well, I guess now TikTok took over that, but
Yeah.
because Vine was its own sort of like self-serving meme factory in a way,
It was.
right?
It was. There was some prime content on Vine. I was really big into Vine. I still have not even downloaded TikTok. Like my only experience with TikTok is if someone sends me a video. And like the ones that get sent to me, I really appreciate, but like not enough for me to like actually sign up on TikTok.
Yeah, because I mean, it seems to me to be like a personal feed of a person's stuff as opposed to like not. You're not going to have a TikTok video that's an analysis of a video game, let's say, in
Yeah.
the same way you will YouTube. It'll just be someone, I don't know, quoting a line from the video game over a fun filter. Or if TikTok compilations I've seen on YouTube are to be believed, just a bunch of white boys with weird hair being really creepy looking into the camera. So,
Yeah.
like, that's another side of it that I'm not super fond of.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know if it's still an issue now, but I know like a month or two ago, like there was like a huge like pedophilia like thing going on TikTok. Like nothing confirmed, but like a whole bunch of accusations getting thrown around.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
and a little aggravating. I mean, okay, so I'm thinking now because there's definitely I live not far away from a high school and I hear kids making like the fucking references and stuff all the time, just
Okay.
on the bus to work. Um,
On
it's
the
not going in a
bus.
weird direction. All this is to say, like, this is very much a thing that I think people are young people who are developing personalities, opinions, whatever, are like getting their information entertainment from.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels for me now this sort of anti TikTok feeling I have is what, like, I don't know, my racist flat earther grandfather had about the Beatles or something. And it's just maybe I'm just getting old and I don't get it. I don't know.
But I also feel like
It's weird.
it might be a healthy thing. 'Cause I feel like, again, no offense to you or to me, but like if that's something, well, if that is something for a younger crowd to define themselves as and find a community for themselves, it's probably safer for them if older people aren't also getting involved in it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
You know
feel
what?
that.
That's what I think, though. I think that, like, if when I say older, I just mean like 19, 20 and up when I'm saying
Yeah,
older in terms of this point right now. But, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like if older people aren't really jiving with it, then that makes it a safer place for younger people to connect with each other on.
Which I get that's what Newgrounds would have been for me, because in the elementary school, I'm like, hey, did you see this video? Did you see this? On Newgrounds?
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. Look at that. Look at us growing as people, trying to figure out this weird youth culture thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're like, maybe I'm being a little nihilistic, but, like, I feel like we're not really in the youth culture anymore. Like, we're in our generation
Oh
now, and now we have to
God,
develop
no.
within our generation. Like,
I'm balding if I bend over too fast. My back hurts for the rest of the day. I'm not young.
yeah, I can I dude, I can't stay awake past 11 o'clock anymore. and then I
Oh no.
and then I can't stay asleep past 7 a.m.
I I don't miss that.
You
Because my employment now usually means I'm like finishing work past midnight, so
yeah.
I can't be up like when I used to work for the college I worked at. I was up at 5 all the time, and like it took a long time to break out of that. So I get what you mean, and I hate it, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
Barry. Yeah. Stop.
Barry,
My cat. He's
Barry, my
wrestling.
boy.
He's wrestling with some grocery bags.
Oh well, as long as it's not toilet paper, that stuff's gonna be worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Go on the buy and sell. $50 a roll. I feel like that's fair.
That's nuts. I was genuinely last week. I was like worried because I didn't have sanitizer and
Oh
I
no.
couldn't find any. And I remembered um, a very dear friend of mine for my birthday got me a fanny pack with a bunch of like cleaning things in it because she knows I have this germophobic tendency that I have. So I just had this big ass bottle of hand sanitizer waiting for me in a fanny pack, which has been
Hidden
so
away.
nice. Yeah, she got the future sight. It's nuts.
That's great.
Yeah, there's little things, you know. The life's gonna roll on. It's whatever happens, happens.
It's Ka.
I'm
I
just
like
trying to
that.
circle back to the tattoo thing.
Oh. I mean, we are about reaching our mark. Do you
Oh no.
do you have anything where the listeners can find you at? Any online works you
Hmm?
want to share with the people where they can find you, where they can get more of you? I know that you have made some music.
I'm in the process of making music. Uh I'm changing my SoundCloud thing soon, so I'll change, but I don't know to what.
Okay.
So I can't guarantee that. What I do have is I have my Instagram where I do the pictures.
Absolutely.
Um, which is just tilly.photos, TILLY.photos. Where I post pictures of like the same four people and of cats, which is nice.
Hey, you got a couple of
You're on
photos
there
of me on
somewhere,
there.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at you right now. What's this caption? Did you know that if you take pictures in the daytime, it's way easier to light a face? I did know that.
Oh, but yeah,
But
I'm
yeah, I mean, that's, hmm?
you're on the
Go
move,
for it.
man. You're creating, and I want people to be able to find you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying.
Yeah. That's the best thing any of us can do, man.
As a person of artistic inclination in the city of Toronto, it's hard to get any traction. So hey,
Yeah.
we'll make it work, you and
Alrighty. Well, thank you for coming on,
I.
and thank you, listeners, for listening. We will see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.